Well, hello, I'm David Freeman with Is That Really in the Bible? Have you ever questioned yourself about, chances are you haven't, because you're scared, you're afraid to actually admit this. But if you're really honest with yourself, sometimes you will ask yourself the question, why am I not getting any more out of my religion? I mean, the most powerful being in the universe. You claim to worship the most powerful being in the universe. And you claim to know the Lord. Maybe you go to church faithfully. And you're just barely getting by. Your prayers don't seem to get beyond the ceiling. You don't feel God's leadership in your life. You feel powerless. You have more questions than you have answers. And here is this being that Job talked about that said, referring to God, Job is referring to God, he says, you may come this far, but no further. Here your proud waves will stop. So here's a being that commands owns the very power of the oceans, and he comes right up to this point, right up to the seashore, but no further. And here you are, here's this being that has created all this, and here you are floundering around with a meaningless, purposeless, accomplished nothing for God life. Why are you not getting any more out of your religion? Now I want to tell you why. I'm going to answer the question right now as to why, even though you probably would never admit it, even though you tolerate church going and God's fan club, you tolerate it, but I'm going to tell you why you're not getting any more out of your religion. It's because you have believed the big lie about salvation. And the big lie goes something like this, that salvation is the easiest thing you ever do. All it takes is, just call on the name of the Lord, just believe, just invite Jesus into your heart, just raise your hand. Have you ever seen these little religious tracts? Have you ever questioned that there's got to be a little bit more to salvation than me reading a little, maybe one paragraph and signing on the dotted line, that there's got to be a little bit more to salvation, to a relationship with God than that? Why? Why are you not getting any more out of your religion? The reason is you've believed all the lies concerning salvation, what I call propaganda. And propagandas are just slogans it's little one-liners that people repeat over and over again. That's all propaganda is. That's all religious propaganda is. And the propaganda says, just believe, just invite Jesus into your heart. Just give your heart to the Lord. Jesus is the reason for the season. You hear that at Christmas time. Grace plus nothing. All of this is just what I call religious propaganda. And people begin, because low information people like this stuff, because they don't have to think for themselves. Oh yeah, Jesus is the reason for the season. Wow, look at that guy throwing up. Look at that guy charging his credit card up. But Jesus is the reason for the season. Low information people love this stuff because they love propaganda because they don't have to think for themselves.
Is that really in the Bible? What you think is in the Bible is not.